Arana Hills Uniting Church is located at 14 Alstonia Street, Arana Hills. The building features 2 levels. On the top level there is the church, a meeting room and a kitchen. The lower level serves as the church hall and includes a second kitchen. There are multiple exits from the building and assembly points at the front and rear of the building. This safety presentation is based on the requirements of the Queensland Building Fire Safety Regulation 2008. In this presentation, we will look at the escape routes, exits and assembly areas, the location of the firefighting equipment, the use of the firefighting equipment, and finally, the evacuation procedure itself. As part of this procedure, we will also look at the specific duties of event leaders and assistants. A full version of Arana Hills Uniting Church's Fire and Evacuation Plan is available from the office for perusal upon request. Firstly, we will look at the escape routes and exits. It is important that you are familiar with all escape routes. In the event that your main escape route is blocked, you will need to use the alternative evacuation routes. There are 2 exit options available to groups meeting in the lower hall. The preferred evacuation route is via the entry door on the western side of the hall. Occupants proceed out the door and assemble at the small shed which serves as the assembly area. If this exit route is blocked, the secondary evacuation route from the hall is through the kitchen. Occupants should move through the kitchen to the exit door. Once outside the building, turn left and walk back around the rear of the building to the small shed that serves as the assembly area. If it is unsafe to move to the small shed, then occupants are to proceed to the alternate assembly area, which is the car park above the church. This can be done by moving up the stairs to the top level and proceeding across the courtyard to the assembly area. Alternatively, occupants can move directly onto Sycus Street, turn right and walk up the footpath to Alstonia Street. Turn right onto Alstonia Street and follow the street back to the front of the church and assemble in the car park. Once occupants have been moved safely to the assembly point and the roll call completed, occupants are to wait for further instruction. Under no circumstance is anyone to re-enter the building until the all clear has been given. In some cases, it may be necessary for persons waiting at an assembly point to move further from the building to a safe place. If this is required, occupants assembled in the top car park will be asked to move to Alstonia Street and turn left. They will then walk down Alstonia Street and wait at the Sycus Street corner. If assembled at the lower assembly area, occupants will be asked to move down to the entry to the lower car park. Now, let's look at the locations of the various pieces of firefighting equipment. There are 4 fire extinguishers located on the lower level of the building. A fire extinguisher is located at each end of the hall. Another extinguisher is located in the office, and the final extinguisher can be found in the kitchen. Alongside the extinguisher in the kitchen, there is a fire blanket. If required, a first aid kit and a defibrillator can also be found in the kitchen. Now we will look at how to safely use the firefighting equipment. It is important that you only use the firefighting equipment if it is safe to do so and you are confident in using it. Fires can be dangerous and you should always be certain that you will not endanger yourself or others when attempting to put out a fire. All fire extinguishers within the Arana Hills Uniting Church are dry chemical fire extinguishers. Dry chemical fire extinguishers can be identified by a white band around the centre of the extinguisher. Dry chemical fire extinguishers contain a powdered substance that, when discharged, can be used on most classes of fire, including equipment that is connected to an electrical source. To operate a fire extinguisher, remember the PASS acronym. P. Pull the pin. A. Aim the nozzle. S. Squeeze the trigger. S. Sweep the fire side to side. Pull the pin. Hold the extinguisher upright and twist the pin to break the seal. Once this has been done, pull the pin to release the trigger. This will allow you to discharge the extinguisher. Aim the nozzle. Before approaching the fire, it is a good idea to test the extinguisher first. Once this has been done, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire. By doing so, you will hit the fuel source. If you aim at the flames, the powder will fly right through the fire and have little or no effect at all. Squeeze the trigger. Pressing the two handles together will release the pressurised extinguishing agent in the extinguisher. Sweep from side to side. Start using the extinguisher from a safe distance away and then slowly move forward. It is important to continue to sweep the fire until the fire is completely out. Once the fire is out, keep an eye on the area in case it reignites. Fire blankets are used to put out fires that cannot be extinguished with water alone, and to save people whose clothing may be on fire. Fire blankets work on fires which are being fueled by ordinary combustibles such as wood or paper, by flammable liquids like oil or gas, and by combustible materials including magnesium and titanium. To use the fire blanket, you will first need to remove the fire blanket from its wall-mounted holder. This is done by pulling the two tabs at the bottom. Unfold the blanket so it is completely opened. Hold the fire blanket with your hands wrapped in the top edge of the blanket. This will protect your hands from the heat and flames. Cover the flames completely with the fire blanket by throwing or placing the blanket on top of the fire and leaving it there until the fire goes out. Let the fire blanket cool completely for 30 minutes to an hour after the fire is out. As most fire blankets are designed to be reused, it can then be folded up and returned to the wall-mounted holder. The final rule to remember, regardless as to what equipment you choose to use to fight a fire, is to always position yourself with an exit or means of escape at your back before you attempt to put out a fire. You do not want to become trapped if something unexpected happens and you need to get out quickly. If you are the first person to locate a fire, alert the group leader and, if it is safe to do so, attempt to extinguish the fire. Remember to make sure you have a clear exit before doing so. Meanwhile, other members of the group should prepare to evacuate. On hearing an evacuation instruction, immediately cease all activity and, only if it is safe to do so, switch off any appliances, equipment and machinery. Assist any person experiencing difficulty with the evacuation. Take a quick look to your left and right to see who is standing or sitting nearby. Walk quickly and calmly to the assembly area via the nearest exit. At the assembly area, form into groups to assist the leader to ensure everyone has been safely evacuated. Report to the leader if you cannot locate the person that was to your left or right before you evacuated. Do not re-enter the building. Remain at the assembly area until otherwise instructed. If, for any reason, you need to leave before the all clear is given, please let the leader know that you are leaving. If you are the evacuation coordinator or person leading an activity or program, there are additional duties to be performed as part of the evacuation process. You need to investigate the fire situation. If there is any doubt regarding whether there is a fire situation, call the fire service. Ensure the safe evacuation of all occupants from the building. Account for all occupants at the assembly area. Ensure occupants do not attempt to re-enter the building until it is safe to do so. And meet the fire service and advise them of any information relevant to the emergency. As there are a number of tasks needing to be completed, it may be necessary to share these duties between attendees to ensure a safe evacuation. It is recommended that the evacuation coordinator or person leading an activity allocate tasks at the beginning of each event. That concludes the Arana Hills Uniting Church's Fire and Evacuation Instructions presentation. If you have any questions about any of the information given in this presentation, please contact the church office.